Welcome back. Joining us today on today's episode of Blowout is our regular Manki Tane Adubabari Esquire. He's a solicitor and advocate of the Notary Public of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. It's a pleasure to have you here with us, sir. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for being here. Right, into the stories for today. The Imo State Governor, Hope Uzodinma, has assured residents that those involved in kidnapping for commercial purposes will soon have nowhere to hide within the state. The governor revealed that his administration is employing both kinetic and non-kinetic measures to apprehend and bring the perpetrators to justice. Addressing the congregation at the Interdenominational or church service held at the Government House Chapel in Owerri to mark the 2025 Armed Forces Remembrance Day, Uzodinma expressed confidence that divine intervention would expose criminals hiding in the state's forests. He commended the sacrifices of the armed forces, emphasizing that the peace enjoyed today is due to the ultimate price paid by many soldiers to keep the nation united. Governor Uzodinma said Imo State is doing her best to support the armed forces to keep and maintain peace, noting that the ugly stories of yesterday about Imo State is now a thing of the past. He reiterated his invitation to those hiding in the bush to commit crime to come out and to have it at the back of their minds that the war is over. Quickly, Barrister Manki, yes. Do you think this will actually come into place coming from the governor of Imo State, try to, ease the issue of kidnapping? And we're sure that kidnapping is not really the main thing of insecurity going on in the east right here, especially Imo State, where we've had cases of the IPOB and then the whole sit-at-home order, and all of that has been happening, destroying of properties, all of that, that has been put together. Do you think that this is something that will be put to stop from the Imo State governor?
Well, sincerely, I can't tell you lie about what I do not know.
Okay.
I'm here, I'm to learn as per what I don't know. Now, when the governor said that the war is over, I do not understand. I don't know the war he is referring to. As far as I know, I think the governor has a very huge question of credibility hanging over his personality, how he came into office. That was one critical issue that shook the foundation of the judiciary, wherein the Supreme Court bringing him into office was just like the issue of Tinubu. In fact, it got to a point that Imo State people were on protest for a very long period of time, trying to see if they could get back their mandate, because it was too bad. I think the present CJN was the person who read the lead judgment. And that is part of the problem that the judiciary has in this country, because what happened in Imo State was so sad. Now, if you look at it from this other angle, he's talking about it pains me when I see elected officers abandon their duty and pushing it to God. What is God's business in this issue of insecurity? That through divine intervention, that those who are in the bush are going to be exposed. What is he talking about? Whether by hook or by crook, is the chief executive. The ball stops on his table. So what is he talking about? We are in digital era. Wherein, check out, what I keep asking people is this. You say you are praying to the God of Israel. Check out Israel. Israel is defending itself or herself. Israel is defending herself on all fronts. They are investing in technology. In fact, we are in the time. That's why when I see I'm very sorry when I use such word, I say so-called security agents. In the light of current global realities, we were here when Pantami was deceiving Nigerians, talking about what do you call it, NIM. That with NIM, that anywhere you are, you can be tracked so long you are using phone, it is current and it is correct. That, okay, some time ago, that was my first time of having such experience, wherein I was confronted openly around 1 p.m. at one point, and my Samsung phone was taken from me. Right now, I understand that I can retrieve that phone so long there's a particular number, security number of that phone. I'm going to do a petition shortly from now, and I'm very hopeful because I've seen cases. That is the time we are in. So when people engage in kidnapping or criminal activities and they are using phone, and then you see a security agent telling you that by God's divine intervention that we're going to make headway, it shows that something is fundamentally wrong.
So, to the religious aspect, saying that God will come into the aspects of curbing insecurity.
He should leave God out
of it
and face his responsibility. Yes.
Okay.
He should face responsibility. Recently I was here with you, and I had my own objection to the largesse that were done out to those who are retiring. I told you that, to my mind, that is just a way to bribe these people not to do their work, because we're running. Let me just be very fair and square about it. What system are we running? It's all over that. This, if they tell you how much they are spending on security per month, you will not believe it. So what are they doing? You realize that it is a game that our political class are playing with. But let me say something to them. That, you see, the lives of Nigerians that they are playing game with, it is for a time. If somebody like Uzodinma, he is from the core east, he knows about the issue, part of the security issue in that area. Why is Mazinandi Kanu in prison? Why is he in DSL dungeon till now? What game are people playing? Why can't they come out and face the realities on the ground and say it as it is and tell the power that be? Or he's feeling that it is because he's responding to the power that brought him, that imposed him on the people against even due process? Or what is it? That's why it is always very difficult to check your background on how you came about. Do you understand? There are issues I cannot talk about. Because, let's say, I remember there was a time that one speaker of the House of Assembly, that was in Bayelsa, said, Yakamagbe, who faked result. And then he came up to, fly at some certain political altitude. And he was brought down and forced out of office. Because they brought to fore all his fraud, academic fraud. And he was thrown out of office. We saw the same thing happen to Sanusi Buhari too. So for such people, there are certain things you cannot say. Because people will confront you secretly.
You're saying, in a sense, it's better you put into practice whatever you say and not just say and not do it.
No. He has to. And let me make it very clear to him. He should leave God out and face the reality on the ground, combat insecurity. Okay. The level at which we are now, nobody can deceive us about the power of tech. You should employ technology, and those who are involved, let them do their work.
Do the right thing.
It's as simple as that.
Thank you so much, Marisa Manki. But moving forward, Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria, HURIWA, has called for an immediate and comprehensive investigation into the alarming allegations of organ harvesting and human trafficking across Nigeria. As recently revealed by the National Agency for Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, the association, through its national coordinator, Emmanuel Owubiko, described the unfolding scandals as a grave national crisis and a multi-billion-dollar criminal enterprise that must be addressed with the full force of the law. The demand followed shocking revelations by NAPTIP's Akwa Ibom Zonal coordinator, Mr. Emmanuel Ahen, who disclosed that certain medical centers in Akwa Ibom State are complicit in organ harvesting. He also reported 24, approximately 750,000 to 1 million children were trafficked in the states for various exploitative purposes, including forced labor, sexual exploitation, and organ harvesting. HURIWA expressed profound disappointment in the failure of past governments to confront these scandals decisively. The association urged the federal government to establish an inter-ministerial panel involving the Ministries of Justice and Health to investigate and persecute offenders. It further condemned the President's lack of accountability in high-profile cases of organ harvesting that have emerged in Nigeria over the years. we will not rule it out, Barrister Manki, that the issue of this organ harvesting has not been in place before now. It's been going for a very long time, you know, and it cuts across every aspect of the world. I wouldn't just say the country, I wouldn't just say Nigeria, because it's everywhere. You know, for Ohoriwa, for NAPTIP to call out Akwa Ibom hospitals of organ harvesting is actually a very strong allegations, because we had this conversation here yesterday with a guest, and he said that before this kind of thing has been, because this allegation can hinder the economic value that comes into the state, it will reduce the things that come into the people that want to investments and whatnot, the good to, you know, and people who want to really, you know, and not want to be in a crime state and all of that. And Horiwa has actually demands for a probe and urges federal government to, you know, come into place and investigate this organ harvesting scandal that has been, you know, put into our face in Akwa Ibom State. Like I stated, other states are also involved. We had the cases of Kaduna, you know, River State, and other states that cause across, and we've had series of cases about this organ harvesting, even done by individuals, you know. But I want to get your thoughts about this specifically. What do you have to say for this incident that is going on right now?
Well, like I always believe in the principle of base superstructure analysis. Now, it's so sad. If you read that story down, there is a kind of an expose, that story line there, wherein a high-profile individual, I think that happened in Anambra State, and that was brought to the fore, and then arrests were made, and they were expressing deep surprise that the thing just disappeared from the radar in terms of investigation. When I say that Nigeria is a theater of absurdities, sometimes people wonder where I'm coming from. But I just pray, as Nigeria is presently constituted, may Nigeria never happen to you.
Amen.
It's as sad as that. I mean what I'm saying. Very, very sad. Now, like the angle you are looking at, some people may say that this is demarketing Akwa Ibom,
yes,
and all whatnot. Well, but will that stop us from saying the truth or facing the reality? In fact, let's face it squarely. If I will address the question, what is it that is emboldening? You talk about hospitals. If you talk about the medical aspect in Akwa Ibom being hit, I will agree with you entirely. Because a lot of people will be afraid to enter into hospital. Now, this is what is happening. All these things that is happening in Akwa Ibom is as a result of the state of our law. I think I spoke to you some time ago about our National Health Act, which I said Bill Gates and the rest of them under 7th National Assembly, when Ekwulemadu, who is now serving his second year in UK prison, was the deputy Senate president. That was when I'm sure that they gave them money. Most of those people were sponsored by outsiders. It's an international cartel. There's this guy.
And they say the state of Ekwulemadu and this particular victim was done with consent.
No. Leave it.
Okay.
What we are saying is that in the National Health Act of Nigeria, as it stands now, it defied the Helsinki Declaration. The Helsinki Declaration says that if my organ is to be taken, it cannot be taken without my consent. The present National Health Act as constituted, which I claim, I insist, was fraudulently passed and imposed on Nigerians, divests the individual who is to lose his or her organ consent from the fellow and place it in the chief medical director of any health facility. Okay, let's say this is a hospital, right? And both of us are brought into this facility. If any of our organ is to be taken, your consent is not needed. It is the consent of the chief medical director of this facility that is needed. That is the state of our National Health Act. And this was done. This is the danger. This is the danger. People don't understand. Once you tamper with the law for your advantage, the consequences will be so devastating than you anticipated. Now look at what is happening now. Medical directors without integrity are now taking advantage of that loophole.
Are you trying to say, in essence, are you supporting NAPTIP that the allegations made against the Akwa Ibom hospitals are real?
It's all over. In fact, Dr. Njemanze, who was involved squarely, because Dr. Njemanze placed a curse on Ekudemadu when they were, amending the decision, particularly when they were reading the section that removed the consent of somebody whose organ is to be taken from him or her. He told Ekudemadu that he will be the first victim of this law that they are imposing on Nigerians, because he knew the implication. Of course, Okowa of I think Delta State was sitting with him then, and what's the name of the other governor? Ngige. Both of them, they were sitting side by side. They flanked Ekudemadu during that session, and Njemanze was there. And if you go to the internet, just Google, do you understand it? You will get it. In fact, Njemanze insists that most of the kidnapping that are happening in the north, this killing by herdsmen, the terrorists, that is anchored on organ harvesting. There was some time ago that they talk about the issue of how many thousands of fresh pennies that were caught on an international ongoing vessel to the west.
Okay.
These things were not fabricated; they are real. The matter died. No investigation was done. So we're just living at the mercy of God. When law fails, these are the things you see. That's why I insisted and I say, may Nigeria, as presently constituted, never happen to you. Because if it does, you will not like it. And it's just bad. What we're hearing now is just a tip of the iceberg of what is happening around. So you ask yourself, that's why a lot of people are running out of this. Things like this will make you lose faith in the medical facility. Do you understand? And like I always say, if one is to be operated and the person says, I'm not comfortable, it's just like those who have phobia to fly. When they say, I don't want to enter the theater, just pull them back. If they go in, they won't come out. That's the truth about it. So when people now lose faith, because you can be put into a medical facility and then there are organ harvesters around, and they'll just pay the chief medical director and he will give approval that your organ should be taken. And that's the end of it. So we are in a very, very, very precarious situation. This thing is all over. It's not limited. And it's very, very sad. Now the question is, who has the capacity? Let me say, for instance, let's say I'm into drugs. I can't take step against drug traffickers. Do you understand me? I can't, because where's my conscience? I can't do it. That's why we insist that people with credibility should be, because there are consequences when you have people who are only interested in money. A leader some time ago was saying about another leader that he knows him very well, that he can betray the mother for money. Such serious statement about the character and integrity of a fellow will leave nothing to be desired. And these are the kind of persons you see that fight their way into position of authority. And it's very, very sad. Very, very sad. The question is, what is the way forward? How do we move from here? So unless there is a serious step taken, because this is it. The moment there is no consequences for action, forget it. It will continue. Okay, so
Barrister Mankey, you're saying in essence that this goes across every aspect of the country, not just Akwa Ibom State, and obviously this has been happening before now. But you're saying in essence that in incidents that has occurred before now, when issues like this come up, they just investigate and let it slide. So there's a possibility that after investigation is done on this issue from the allegation from NAPTIP, that the due process will not be followed, because most of them that are supposed to, handle situations like this are part of the system.
That is it. Because that's why when you hear some certain level of crime, the next thing we hear, the victim who would have been useful has been killed. You understand? Okay. Suddenly you just hear that the person died in crossfire.
Okay. So you're not on the path that this is a false allegation coming from now.
It's not. It's not.
Okay.
It's not.
Well, thank you so much in that. Moving forward, the Nigerian Air Force air strikes on Saturday mistakenly hit operatives of the Zamfara State Community Protection Guard, vigilantes, and some residents of Tunga Kara community in Marudo local government area of Zamfara State, following a raid by bandits in the area. ATN gathered that the incidents, which claimed at least 20 lives, occurred shortly after the bandits fled the scene. It was also learned that local vigilantes and residents who had mobilized to defend their community were caught in the strike. So far, 16 bodies retrieved, with the final death toll still uncertain as rescue efforts continue. The airstrike intended to target the fleeing bandits instead that devastated the community, leaving behind a trail of grief and unanswered questions. Residents of Tunga Akara are now calling for an investigation into the tragic error and for support to be provided to the affected families. The military authorities have yet to issue an official statement on the incident, but the tragedy underscores the challenges of combating insecurity in Zamfara State. The other one was Sokoto State, when an airstrike mistakenly hit villages that were close to the Lakurawa group that the Air Force were supposed to strike. And then we're getting this from Zamfara State. Is this supposed to be a concern? The first mistake and second one, you know, at the time where we discussed about the first mistake that happened, the guy said it's possible for that to happen because at every instance when there's an airstrike, there will always be casualties. But I'd love to get your thoughts concerning this. Do you think the second mistake is actually a necessity? Is it supposed to be done, Barrister Mankey?
Well, I think the latest position on this very matter we are talking about now is that the military has come out to deny. I think the feelers available to me is that the military has come out to deny responsibility that nothing like that happened. It's very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. It may interest you to know that as we are talking now, the military has abandoned its core job, which is to defend the country and Nigerians against external aggression. What we have in Nigeria now is Nigerian Air Force that is protecting the petroleum minister's interests to expand production of crude oil and sell, not to refine for the use of Nigerians. Unfortunate. I don't know when you bought kerosene last. You bought kerosene from a service station. I don't think you can remember that. Now, what the military are now up to, Air Force, Navy, and military are up to now, they are all over in Rivers State and the oil producing areas. I'm going to do something very funny. Since they have decided that we will leave what we are supposed to do and hand it over to God. You see, I'm a lawyer, but I tell people there is what I call beyond jurisprudence. And the concept of beyond jurisprudence is that there are natural laws that govern the cosmos. There are natural laws that govern the cosmos. I'm very pained. You see, these human beings that are being killed like fowls, they are human beings having blood running through them. They are human beings with soul, spirit, and body, just like me, talking to you here. It is enough. These people are just dying mercilessly. They are just, in fact, human life don't make meaning here. Let me say that to you. Like I said, the military, Air Force, Navy, they know this. They are coming here to kill the youth of the Niger Delta who are involved in parallel refining. Under the last administration, Osibanjo came in here and said what is going on here is wrong. That we are supposed to collaborate with these enterprising youth. That government is going to set up modular refineries for them. Buhari suddenly woke up from his hospital bed where he claimed he was sick in London. Came down, shut down that project. I have come to the position that there is a game being played in this country. And I want to say that as many that are party, because this very thing that happened, the people have called the military.
Do you think this was an intentional mistake?
I'm saying
it was stated to be a mistake, like I said from the beginning, that this incident has happened before. and they said it was a mistake that they were supposed to target the Dakurawa group, and unfortunately the airstrike hits the villages, and now we're getting this again the second time.
Let me say this. You see, it has become so bad that I'm going to tell those who are involved, because this is the same military hierarchy that senators find out that they divert money that is meant for them. Now they are coming through the air. Villagers will shout and before. I told you last time that the foundation, there's no legal foundation for Omotekun. Do you understand it? Because we don't have state police yet. This vigilante you are hearing about is out of necessity, because the first rule of life is self-preservation. It's out of frustration. They will call the military. The military will only come when these people will spend hours killing people, doing all manner of atrocities after they have left. That's the time that the military will come. Even here in Rivers State, I told you some time ago about a story of these herdsmen. They kidnapped a man. Then they kidnapped the wife after butchering the man in Eleme here. And they were using phone to negotiate ransom for the wife that was kidnapped in Eleme here in Port Harcourt. That's what we are saying. And then they are here pursuing crude oil. Meanwhile, their core duty, if you go to the barracks, what their wives are using to cook is the coal fire product, which is the refined, kerosene. That's what they are using. So why are they diverted the military from their core duty? I told you last time that if the body language of the president is to the effect that they should chase out these terrorists, they will do it. Under 1 month, they will chase out these people. In most parts of the north, the civilian population have no alternative, but they are forced. In some part of the country, they pay taxes to these people. In some areas, they go into agreement with them, they allow them to farm, and then they share this thing in percentage. A country? This is a country that we're living in. That's why I said, may Nigeria never happen to you. Because these things are realities.
So
they are no joke.
Everyone now in the north is now supposed to live in fear over the unknown of what next happens. People
are already living in fear. Even here, where we are, people are living in fear here. People are living. That's why I told you that River State is experiencing a kind of miracle. Because I was here, I didn't travel, I didn't go to Panya. I saw what happened in this state under the last administration. To a point that any perceived, I didn't say a real, I said perceived. You know, when you talk about perception, it's within the realm of imagination. Any perceived enemy of the former administration, you are either on exile or your life is not secure. We saw it here. And unfortunately, it's just like our brothers and sisters whom I prefer to call government-approved armed robbers. Not that there are no good men and women within the district. You go to the road and see these people collecting money with audacious impunity from drivers and telling if you don't give them that money, something wrong will happen to you.
Barrister, what do you think should be done in this instance? Like we stated, the first one has happened and the second one is repeating itself. You know, first and second time can no longer be called a mistake. And then it continues. What do you think has to be done to put a stop to this?
The foundation of this thing, I have stated it here. By the facts that are available, I insist that the government of the day is treating this bandit with kick growth. Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State told Nigerians that Allah gave Nigeria as the headquarters of these terrorists, that they should come from all over Africa to Nigeria. And they are here. And mark it, as these people are killed, they name it, they come in, take over the land. I mean, these are not, the most terrifying thing is that these are not Nigerians. So they are coming for land of Nigerians. Adesina, under the last administration, said that Nigerians are better giving up their ancestral land rather than being killed. What did Tinubu tell us? The main stroke of Eminokon. He said he's going to continue from where we already stopped. And so if he said If that happened under Buhari, what do we expect here? Wherein he cannot take a step against military top brass who are diverting money that is meant to buy equipment to combat these terrorists. He said he cannot rise, he cannot query them. So what are we talking about?
So the root cause, in a sense, has to be taken, from the background of where this whole thing started from.
It's as simple as that. And I have said it before.
Okay.
Unless, I can tell you, even there are some reports you make now at the police station. Police will tell you, just go to the police station and report, like part of the equivalent here, that herdsmen have invaded your farm and destroyed your crops. And hear what the police will tell you. They will tell you tacitly that you can take law into your hand, that there's something they can do. Because the matter will die on arrival. Who are those who have been placed in position of authority? You know, the military or the security agents operate on perpendicular structure. When you hear of commander-in-chief, let's say there's a division that controls here. Something wrong can be going on within this radio estate. Unless the DPO gives order, nothing will happen. That is the way the security agents work. And when you have the head compromised, what can you do? So if by available statistics and everything, it is clear that because this thing has a root, that the government of the day is behind what is going on. Because how can you allow foreigners to be killing your citizens and you are keeping quiet? They will soon be wiped out. If you have 1 million naira in your account and you are paying transfer every day and money is not coming in, very soon your account will be reading red. The day you put your POS or your card and they say, and it declines, it's saying insufficient form, something will tell you.
Thank you so much, in that Barrister Mankey. Due course has to be taken. Background checks has to, the root cause has to actually be taken notes, and then the professionals should actually be used, because we cannot say they are professionals and they've made mistakes twice. And technology advocates technology, develops technology like the AI technology or advanced technologies have to be put in place if that can be the root cause of this, and something has to be done. So we will not keep going through this whole thing over and over again, because the first and second time is no longer a mistake. Well, we'll go on a quick break. When we return, we will continue with the rest of the stories. So stay with us.
From the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN. across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains. Through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.